Hey friends, welcome to my front balcony. It's probably one of my favorite places in the world. Very proud of it. So, this is going to be another short clip to kind of piggyback on the one I did earlier while I was cooking, talking about desk work, and if we're on the computer a lot, how we kind of fold forward, we use our hands. So it took us backwards and did a little wrist stretching, shoulder stretching. So that's kind of the upper half of when you're sitting at a desk, right? So we have also the bottom half. And if we think about sitting in a chair, this will be my chair variation. We have a flexion at the hip joint. So that means our hip flexors are shortening. And then also we have flexion at the knee joints. So our hamstrings are doing the same thing. So this is going to focus on taking those in the opposite action. And again, short video. So if you can pop up every 45 minutes or an hour and take a 5-10 minute break, do this video or the one for the shoulders, rotate between the two. I think that'll really help you kind of battle those those holding patterns that you get from sitting in a chair so often. So especially if you have lower back pain, this is a really nice one to do. Our hip flexors, it connects on the low back, on the bottom vertebrae, and at the top of the femur bone. And so if those are really tight, they're going to be pulling down on the bottom vertebrae, causing compression. So oftentimes a lot of low back pain is simply due to tight hip flexors, also tight hamstrings, tight quads. So just something to think about. And I'm not really going to use a mat, but I do have a blanket for cushioning my bottom knee. So that's going to be nice for you as well. I have a strap this time, but like I showed you in the other video, you're welcome to instead use a towel, like a hand towel. You want it to be long enough to where you can hook your foot with it and extend your leg straight or straight-ish. Remember, you don't really have to straighten your leg, especially if you're really tight. So just something to think about. Be mindful about that. So we're going to start in a little bit of a kneeling position, but it'll be a lunge, sorry, not a kneel. And let's start on the same side. So we'll have the right knee down and we'll step the left foot forwards. And so there is an option here to put your hands on blocks if you need. And if you do, make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders so you have some stacked joints, and you might need to extend them forwards a little bit, but don't widen them out. Keep them shoulder width apart is what I should say. So it'll be a low lunge flow for a few rounds. So on an inhale, you're going to let yourself sink forward into the hips. And as you exhale, you're going to walk your hands back as you straighten the front leg any amount. And you can play with pulling the toes back or keeping the toes pointed. So again, there'll be an inhale forward into the lunge. And exhale, take it back. Give yourself a bow. So you'll inhale forwards and exhale back. And so back toes can stay tucked or not. That's going to change the experience of the back knee. It'll play with balance a little bit as well. So see what you like more, foot down or foot flexed. Yogi's choice, as they say. Alright, and so next time the hips are forward, keep them there, and you'll pause. Alright, so we're going to work a bit with what's called a PNF stretch. So notice kind of what your range of motion is currently. And wherever your max is, slide out of it just a little bit. And so here it might really help to have hands on blocks. I like strong fingertips. So what we're going to do now is we're opening the back hip flexor. So send your awareness to your right glute. And what will happen is you're going to squeeze your right glute muscle. So we're activating that muscle and you're going to hold it. So squeeze right glute, hold it for a few breaths. And so what's happening here, we have pairing muscles, agonist, antagonist. And An easy visual for pairing muscles would be tricep and bicep. So as you flex the bicep, the tricep lengthens. And as you flex the tricep, the bicep lengthens. So bicep, tricep. So still squeezing the right glute for just a moment. And let's soften the glute, kind of lean back for just a moment. And then come forwards again into your lunge and see if anything shifted. And so what we're doing here is we're kind of tricking our body a bit. When we engage our glute muscles, by nature, our hip flexor opens because that's our pairing muscle. So we're going to take it back a little bit, and we're going to do that one more time. So you come out of the maximum stretch, squeeze the right glute, and you hold. Keep squeezing. Try to isolate the right glute. And we'll relax right glute, lean it back just a bit, and we'll come forward, sink into the hips. All right, and you can repeat that up to 3 times if you wish. And for a moment, let's take left hand onto the thigh, right hand on top of that. Allow the weight of your hands to kind of encourage the knee to go forwards. And oftentimes you hear you don't want the knee to go past the ankle, but since the back knee is on the floor, the front knee is not weight bearing. So it's okay if it goes past a little bit, as long as everything feels okay. So that's where you really listen to knee to ankle, see how it feels. And then of course, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And we'll take the hands to the floor, shift it back, and we'll slide the left leg back to meet the right. We'll come into a kneeling position for just a moment. And I like to shake out the hands. Sometimes it's a bit much to prop yourself up for so long like that. And let's take the backs of the hands towards the thighs, fingertips point towards the belly, and press the wrists away from you, trying to straighten the arms any amount. So some wrist relief here. And we'll take the hands, give them a shake, a little flick. All right, so we'll come to the other side. So you'll have the left knee back, the right foot steps forward. Find a nice long lunge here. Back toes tucked or not, your option. And take a moment and allow yourself to sink forward into the hips. And we're going to do a low lunge flow. So you'll inhale, sink forwards. And exhale, take it back. Remember, you can play with pointing or flexing. And you're going to take a few rounds following your own breath. Let's go for one more full round. And next time you're forwards, you're going to stay there. All right, so notice what your range of motion is like here. You're going to take it back a bit out of the stretch. hips nice and square. So we're gonna come back to the PNF stretch on the second side. So left glute, think about it, send your awareness there and give it a squeeze. So you're holding the glute muscle tight. And we'll relax the muscle, shift back just a bit. And we'll take it forwards into the stretch. All right, we'll shift it back just a bit. Same thing, left glute, give it a squeeze. Keep squeezing, a few more breaths. And we'll soften the glute, lean it back. And we'll take it forwards. So remember, you can do that about up to 3 times. And you want to hold the squeeze and also the release for maybe about 20 to 30 seconds. So it might have been a bit shorter due to the video time length. And we'll take right hand onto the thigh, left hand on top of that, still sinking into the hips, heart lifted. There's an element of a back bend here, so you're lifting into the heart as you lean backwards, big stretch on left hip flexor. And we'll take the hands to the floor, lean back out of the pose, release, right knee meets left. We'll come back to a kneeling position, and one more time we'll point the fingertips towards us as we press the wrists away. And we'll pick up the hands, give them a shake. All right, so one more nice stretch. If you noticed, the low lunge flow is what I call that. It gets hip flexors and hamstrings, so it takes us into the opposite action of sitting in a chair. So here, the way I like to sit is on my sitting bones, and I'll have one leg bent in front of me. So the leg we'll be working with, I'll mirror you all, we'll take the left leg forwards. Find your strap or your towel, and you're gonna hook right underneath the toes at the balls of the foot. And you're slowly gonna extend the legs forwards, take a peek at my dirty toes, and then you'll lift the leg up into the air. And you may have to adjust the bottom leg a bit. Notice I brought my leg a bit more towards the midline as I lean back. And I'll turn this way as well. And we're gonna hold it up at the top for a few breaths, lifting the heart a bit. So there's a hint of leverage here. The leg and the torso are working together. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take both ends of the strap into the left hand. Take the right arm up as you breathe in, and as you exhale, take the fingertips behind you. You'll find length one more time, breathe in, and as you exhale, draw the right leg over to the left. So you're twisting to the right as the leg comes over to the left. Now, you'll probably feel this along the bottom of the leg, back of the leg, and even into what's called the IT band, the iliotibial band. And if you want to take it even further down the leg, think about inverting your foot. So press the pinky blade side away from you as you draw the big toe mound side in. So holding that motion, that action. Few more breaths here. It can get kind of fiery, so keep breathing. And we'll neutralize the foot, draw the leg back to center, and release. All right, nicely done. So extend both legs, little shakes nice. And we'll come to the other side. So bring the bottom, or this would be your left leg in. Right leg forwards. We'll hook the foot. I don't remember if I mirrored you all the way through that one. I apologize if I didn't. So we're working with your right leg. And you'll lift it up into the air. You'll lean it back. Lift the heart, retract the shoulders. And we'll take both ends of the strap now into your left hand. And right arm, I think I did mess that up, I'm sorry. Right arm will go up into the air, and as you exhale, take the right fingertips behind you and draw the leg across the body over to the left. Yeah, my bad. I guess I could start over, or I can just apologize for my mistake. Remind you that I'm human. Just be sure whichever leg you're working with, you're drawing across your body. So not to the outside, but over and across. Now, if you want to take it further down the leg, think about inverting your foot. So you press the pinky side away from you as you draw the arch of the foot in. And we'll neutralize the foot, bring the leg back to center, and carefully release. All right. And so one thing I like to do after doing anything involving gripping, fingertips will point towards me as I hook them onto the floor and press the palms away. Let's see if I can get a slightly better angle. There we go. So fingertips down, press away, and I'll kind of shimmy side to side a little bit, maybe even pedal the heels of my hands. All right, so that got again into our hip flexors, our hammies, and the IT band. This was per request. So if you have any requests, feel free to reach out and send them to me, and I'll work with you all the best I can while we're in quarantine. So happy days, be well.